Alright, here's my presentation on my graduation trip to Montana. Have you ever experienced a moment so peaceful and beautiful that it just stays with you forever? That's exactly how I felt during my graduation trip this past summer to Glacier National Park in Montana. It wasn't just a vacation, it was a break from everything, a celebration of the end of high school and the start of whatever comes next. Today I want to celebrate not just a trip, but a memory, a journey with my family that marked a major milestone in my life. I'll be sharing what made this trip so special, the drive from Red Wing, Minnesota, the cozy vacation home we stayed in, and the unforgettable hikes, views, and wildlife we experienced in Glacier National Park. This trip meant a lot to me because it reminded me of how lucky I am to have such a supportive family and how important it is to pause and really take in the world around us. And all the stress of finishing school, thinking about the future, and trying to figure out who I want to be, this trip helped me slow down and reconnect with what really matters. The adventure started with a long road trip from Red Wing, Minnesota, all the way to Montana. We were packed up to the roof with snacks, way too many bags, and a speaker for blasting our road trip playlist. It was one of those drives where time feels different, long but fun. We laughed at dumb jokes, argued about directions, played travel games, and just enjoyed the scenery changing as we went. Watching the flat farmland slowly turn into big rolling hills and then into towering mountains made it feel like we were heading into something amazing. When we finally got to our vacation home, it was like something straight out of a postcard. It was tucked into the trees with the snow-capped mountains in the background, and this big wraparound porch where we'd sit in the mornings, wrapped in blankets, sipping hot cocoa and coffee, and listening to the sounds of the forest. Every morning felt like a fresh start, fresh air, birds chirping, and sunshine peeking through the pine trees. It was the kind of peace that you don't get in an everyday life. But the real magic happened in Glacier National Park. We spent most days hiking. Some trails were simple and full of people. Others were steep and way out in the middle of nowhere. No matter the trail, every path led to something beautiful. One day we ended up it didn't look real. The water was freezing cold, but we dipped our feet in anyway, just to say we did it. Another day, we saw mountain goats climbing up the rocky cliffs like it was no big deal at all. And yeah, we even spotted a bear from a safe distance, which was equal parts of awesome and terrifying. Being in that kind of nature, surrounded by mountains, clear skies, and wildlife, makes you feel small, but in a good way. It reminds you how big the world is and how much there is to explore. Being in that kind of nature, surrounded by mountains, clear skies, and wildlife, makes you feel small, but in a good way. It reminds you how big the world is and how much there is to explore. I found myself thinking about life differently, how fast it moves, and how easy it is to get caught up in stress or pressure, and how important it is to stop and take it all in. Some of my favorite moments from this trip weren't even the big sights. It was just the little things, like the quiet walks with my family, the moments where we'd sit and stare at the view, or the time we laughed until we cried over something that probably wasn't even that funny. Those are the moments that stuck with me the most. Looking back on that trip, I realized it wasn't just about going somewhere new. It was about crossing into a new part of life. That trip was like a bridge between who I was in high school and who I am becoming now. It helped me reflect, breathe, and realize that even though a change is scary, it can also be really beautiful. The laughter in the car, the peaceful mornings on the porch, quiet trail moments when everything felt still, those are the memories I'll carry with me forever. My graduation trip to Montana wasn't just a getaway. It was a gift. A reminder to enjoy the journey, to stay close to the people who matter, and to keep exploring. Both the world and myself. No matter where life takes me after high school, college, work, or places I haven't even dreamed of yet, I'll always have those Montana memories to look back on. And they'll remind me of who I am, where I come from, and how much beauty there is still be waiting to be seen. Any questions? All right, thank you.